mind whether they want to vote yes or no. We did examine some very specific issues which have been raised as unconstitutional. One is the question of the judiciary ombudsman. Two is the question of removal of vetting of ministers and PSS. Three is the question of regulation of professional fees. And four is the question of the manner in which the two-thirds gender principle has been put in the Constitution. I'm happy to tell you, Mr. Speaker, and this House, that after thorough examination, and you'll see that in the report, and even after engagement with the experts we had engaged with, we came to a unanimous conclusion that none of those provisions are unconstitutional. Some people might find them undesirable, but undesirability and constitutionality are two different things. As long as it's constitutional, if the people agree with it, then it is okay. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this, and I want to say it categorically, and this is where the one issue arises: constitutionality. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of law, and this is where I disagree with my chairman, a constitutional amendment can be unconstitutional in two ways. It can be unconstitutional if it does not follow the process that is already in the current constitution before it's amended. Or it can be unconstitutional because it results in something that does not accord with constitutionalism. Mr. Speaker, if today there was a popular initiative that suggests that we must exterminate one of the 43 ethnicities in this country, as happened in the Holocaust and elsewhere, it would be unconstitutional, even if it came through this House and was adopted, because in substance it's unconstitutional. Or in this House, if today we decided that the presidency will only rotate in one ethnic group, it would result in that. I'm not speaking to the document yet, I'm speaking to the theory. Constitutional scholars agree that you can have a constitutional amendment that is unconstitutional. Now, what we have done, and professors of law like John Buddy is saying it's not true, but that is okay, because that is your view. I am talking about the law. John Buddy, you've not stepped in law school, so just allow me. Now, the thing, in our case, there were issues that were raised. In our case, there were issues that were raised about fairness of Schedule 2. There were issues that were raised about constitutionality. There were issues that were raised about completeness. I will not speak to them because they're in the document. But to be fair, because there are equally members, including lawyers, who do not agree with me, and they're entitled, because in law, there's no strict answer to anything. There are lawyers who believe that no constitutional amendment can be unconstitutional. What we have done, Mr. Speaker, and that was the midway path, we put the view on constitutionality and the view on unconstitutionality. But what we didn't do, there was a serious push by some of the members of the committee to suggest that we sever Schedule 2 and remove it. But we were all agreed that because Schedule 2 is part of the document, and we had agreed that we cannot make substantive changes to the document, it must go with the document. And therefore, what it has done is that it has given members of this House the opportunity to look at it and make up their mind. But what's important is, it is merely an observation. It has nothing to do with the document itself. For the document must go as it is. As I'm closing, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, and this is my last point, the minor errors. Mr. Speaker, I'll urge members to look at page 99 of the document, where we identify some of the what we call minor errors and typos. Ultimately, Mr. Speaker, looking at that list, there is only one typo in the bill that we are considering, and that is in respect of clause 51. Clause 51, Mr. Speaker, refers to Article 204. The only thing it does not do is indicate that it's looking at 204 subarticle 6. So we have two options. We can either exercise that jurisdiction here and just insert the word subarticle 6, or we can leave it. I want to submit, Mr. Speaker, that whether we exercise it or leave it is of not much consequence. Because even if we don't change it, The very constitution that we have encourages a purposive interpretation of the Constitution. Anyone looking at this amendment will see that what was intended to be amended was Article 204(6). So even if we don't invoke that jurisdiction that we have for correcting typos, form and error, it is of no consequence. Because any interpretation, because it's very clear, because it talks of the sunset clause, in the entire 204, no other sabbatical talks of the sunset